Hello again. Before I start talking about classical music, which in Britain is currently a hot topic because of being so white, I want to conduct a little thought experiment. We often hear that fatal phrase to reflect the community we serve these days, and it invariably means that efforts are being made to reduce the number of white people in this or that profession or pastime, ranging from accountancy to playing the violin professionally. Oddly enough, we never hear the expression being used in connection with sport. What do viewers think would happen if I was running a football team and decided that it did not reflect the community which it served? To do this, it would need to be of a certain level of diversity. For example, it should have no more than one black person and at least one person from the Indian subcontinent. Many football teams have more than one black player and most have not got a single Asian, which is grossly unfair and discriminatory because there are in this country far more people of South Asian heritage than there are black people. So I will get rid of all but one of the black players and replace them with white people and a Bangladeshi. Does anybody think that this would make the football team better? And if so, in what sense? Of course, allocating places on the football team in this way, according to skin colour and family background, would be an idiotic idea. What you really want is the people who are best able to play football. I'm sure this sounds ridiculous, but precisely this happened last year with the English touring opera, who decided to sack half their members because the Arts Council noticed that nearly everybody in the orchestra was white. They sent a letter to many of the freelance musicians who work with them saying, among other things, that English touring opera is committed to increasing all kinds of diversity in its team, and while there have been appreciable steady advances on stage in this area, we have prioritised increased diversity in the orchestra. This is in line with the firm guidance of the Arts Council, principal funder of ETO's touring work, and of most of the trust funds that support ETO. This is precisely comparable with our ridiculous instance of a football team sacking players because too many were black and not enough were Asian. There's no suggestion that the English touring orchestra, the opera people, had been discriminating against black musicians. It is simply that hardly any applied for jobs with them. This is because in general black people are not keen on classical music, opera and ballet. When my daughter was little, she was very keen on ballet and opera, and we used to go to all kinds of cheap or free performances. For instance, the English National Opera, based at the Colosseum in St Martin's Lane, used to run free, day-long workshops for children, showing them around the theatre and getting them to put on a show of their own, based on a well-known opera. It's how my daughter picked up a taste for the thing. I never saw a single black child at any of these events, even when they were free. It's simply not a black thing. The London Symphony Orchestra puts on free concerts in Trafalgar Square that anybody can come and listen to. Most of the audience are white, with some Chinese people and a few Indians. There is not a single black person to be seen in the audience. The thumbnail to this video shows the audience at such a free event. This is why there are no black musicians in many orchestras, because by and large, black people prefer to do other things than play classical music. It is the same reason one sees very few Indians in football teams, because they prefer to do other things. Any attempt to force diversity, whether on a football team or orchestra, must result in a decline in quality, because football teams and orchestras want the best footballers and musicians. If they are forced to choose people based on skin colour, then they will no longer be selecting the best, and their team or orchestra will not be as good as the one which is choosing people based upon talent. This awful process is happening in many fields apart from orchestras, and in every single case the result will be the same: a lowering of quality. It could not be otherwise. In the description to this video I give a link to a little news item about the English touring opera's attempt to get rid of white people, and viewers can ask themselves whether or not this sort of process would work in other fields where it's currently being tried, such as banking, law, and any profession you care to mention. In each case, the result is going to be the same. It's going to mean a lowering of quality.